Hey guys and girls, you know, we've had this Ranger now for about a month or so, and I got to thinking we've not done a walkthrough on this brand new 2021 Ranger. I have to apologize for the trailer being so dusty, but we got dusty roads here, and Jamie was fishing out of this the other day. Actually, when Chris got sick, he was actually fishing out of this boat over at the other lake, and that's why it's so dusty, and I hadn't cleaned that off. The top's not dusty because when we hauled it over to the other lake, we put the cover on it. And we put the cover on to haul it back. But let's just do a walkthrough on this thing. We'll start back here on the ground. And powered by, obviously, the best boat motor ever made. New Mercury Pro XS 4-stroke engine. Amazing gas mileage. Amazing torque and power getting up. Got a Mercury prop on it, obviously. If you're going to run a big motor like this, you need to run a stainless steel prop. I've got a 23 on this. It's 23 Fury, which is about what everybody's running on their engines now. Is the Furies are just absolutely an incredible prop. You know, and a prop that's really tough too. I hit a lot of stuff with it, and you can see it's in really good shape. Got a little bit of a ding right there, but you know, I'm pretty bad about grounding up real estate with a Mercury prop. But I got a Mercury prop on there, and 250 horsepower. Boat runs about 72 miles an hour. This is a 521L Ranger. I got 2 power poles on here. I got power pole blades, and I put a red power pole blades on there. This boat is blue, but it is red. It is red and white underneath, and the wrap is blue, and that's why you can see the seats. And actually, we turned out with a red, white, and blue boat, which is pretty cool. I didn't really intend it that way. I ordered the boat, and I didn't know what color wrap that Shell Rotella was going to put on it. It's a beautiful wrap. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely just fantastic. And but it's got power pole blades on there. And that's about all we've got back here on the back to think about. I got an Atlas jack plate, and that jack plate raises up and down. You know, your power trims up and down this way, and then back down. Atlas jack plate raises up and down. So you can start in really shallow water. You can be in water that's just this deep and trim that, use that Atlas jack plate and raise that all the way up and get up in real shallow water. We've fished lakes like Lake Okeechobee when they're down, or some of the Florida lakes when they're down, or just any lakes that's down low. And you get in areas where you can't get a big bass boat to get up on top and run. And so the jack plate is worth its weight in gold. The other thing about it is when you're trailering nowadays, because we have so many places, so many businesses that are built on hillsides and around, when you get out of it, you pull out of a burger place or a chicken place, and they got a real steep drive, and then you pull your trailer up there, and your motor drags. Your motor can actually drag. But you can take this jack plate, jack it all the way up, and you got your motor a lot higher off the ground. So it saves a lot of the problems back here that you have with your Skag. And like I said, we've had this boat about a month. We've fished out of it a lot. But so I got the Atlas jack plate back there on the back. One of the great things about a Ranger boat that they've done the last 3 or 4 years is this is the drain plug up here on top. This is the same system we got on the Livewell system now, where you just turn the switch and it's the drain plug is in the in position. You just switch this over to the out. I'm not going to switch it over to the out. There might be a little bit of water in there, and if there is, I don't want it to just fall on the floor here. So there's all you do on a drain plug is just in and out, because on a step boat with this step in it, the drain plug is way up under there. So you have to crawl under there if you're going to put a drain plug in and out. So this is a feature on a Ranger boat. I guess it's on all boats now. I don't really know. I run a Ranger and run a Tracker, but that's just a great feature right there for putting your drain plug in and out. Here's another thing that's really good is your electricity that's running to your battery chargers. I'll show you those battery chargers here in just a minute. But this is all you have to do. Plug it in right there, and I'm charging all my batteries. Now, I only put 4 batteries in this boat. Tournaments, I was running 5 batteries. 2 to run all the electronics, and 3 to run my 36-volt trolling motor. 112-pound thrust, 36-volt trolling motor. But so you plug that in right there, and I'll show you the charger here in a minute. But that charges all your batteries. All you have to do is come in. I just got a little short extension cord running over there. You can see them running right over here. I got plug-ins all over this building, so it doesn't matter where I am. I can go ahead and plug it in and got it run over here. That's all you got to do. Just come in and plug in right there. It's got tie-down straps back here in the back. When I'm on the ranch, I don't put them in. But to tie your down, if you run these over here. These are ratchet straps. You can run them right over there, ratchet them up. You got your boat tied down. Now, when I'm here on the ranch, which is what we use this for, and why everything is so dusty, those are mounted on. You don't have to worry about them. You can't lose them. They're mounted on the trailer, so you tie your boat down. It didn't take me just a second to tie them down. The old straps we used to have in the old days, you ended up where you had one strap or no straps, you'd lose one. They're kind of like a pair of socks. You would lose one no matter what. Power pole blades on both sides. You need 2 power poles, not one. If you're one power pole is fine, but if you power pole down with 1 power pole, your boat will turn around. Power pole down with 2, it doesn't move. It stays right where it is. It doesn't move. So you need 2 power poles, and these are power pole blades, best ones they make. Can't think of much of anything back on the back of this boat. Let's crawl up in this thing. Here's something that I've done that some of y'all might think about. This is a little deal we used at boat shows, so people could get up in the boats and boat shows and without crawling in and out and this is just a neat deal to be able to crawl in and out of your boat. Look at that right there. I mean, you need to buy you one of those or rig one of those or whatever. You can get them around mobile home lots and stuff, or boat dealers. And if you keep a boat in a boat shed and you're going to get in and out of a lot like I do, that's a great thing to have. I'm going to go ahead and set that seat up. The cover we've got on this boat, we have to take the seats out to put the cover on. We can get a cover where you can leave your seats in or take them out, either one. We've got the cover on this one where you can take them out. Now, back here in the back, it's a great situation that Ranger's done. You can see how much room, how clean it is, how easy to get in there and work on things. I've got 4 batteries in this boat. Now, that allows me to put, and this comes with this situation here, that's fastened down. That won't roll around or move around no matter how rough the water is. That's fastened down. And that's my spare prop. You need to always carry a spare prop. You can throw a blade on a prop. You can have a nut get loose and lose a prop. All kinds of things that can go wrong. So you always need to carry a spare prop. That spot is made specifically to carry one. If you do run 5 batteries like you're tournament fishing, and we run a lot of electronics on boats nowadays. Just fishing and not running my aerators all day long, I get by just fine with 4 batteries. Tournament fishing, I definitely recommend 5. I've got 4 Super Start batteries in here. They're absolutely tremendous batteries, and they just absolutely will not. I just don't have any problem with them. I mean, just no problems whatsoever. They just run and run and run and run and run. Here's a situation that Ranger got that's really nice on their boat. This is where you can turn everything off. Just turn it over here and you turn everything back on the boat just like that. Turns all the power onto the boat. Now you could turn on, you hear the thing start coming on up here. Turn over here if you want to jump start. Like you do have a situation where you have a battery go down, turn over there and you can jump start. You can turn over here to here and run on battery only. Now the only 2 situations I use very often, I have used that jump start in tournaments. This is a tremendous switch that's on a Ranger boat right here. Because if you have a main battery goes down that you're hooked up to and you can't get your motor start, you come over here to jump start and it automatically switches over to one of the other batteries that's got power and you can jump start it. I put it on to run, I put it on off when I'm charging. I've got a 4-bank Minn Kota charger here that's a 440 and so you can see it's all green. You can leave that hooked up all the time. That's a great thing. It doesn't hurt your batteries. It goes into a maintenance mode and it's just maintaining it. So when you come in off the water, in this boat, all you do is just plug that in back there in the back. Don't worry about it. If you go fishing tomorrow, the next day, 3 weeks from now, it doesn't matter. It's going to be hot and ready to go. So that's a great situation right there. I'm just going to leave that up. I like to leave a lot of the lids up a lot of times when it's just sitting in here. I don't have any lids up right now, but I like to leave a lot of them up just to let the air get around through. Now this has got a vent system up front that turns on where you can dry if you get any moisture in your boxes. And we'll just start over here. They've got 2 big boxes on the back. These are identical. And you can carry a lot of things in here. You know, you can see I got some tackle boxes where I got crankbaits and a box full of Jimmy Houston spinner baits. These are just little tackle boxes that I bought at Sam's, I think. They were like $10 for 5 of them. And I thought, man, those things are pretty nice little tackle boxes. And they're a lot less expensive than a regular tackle box. And they'll hold a lot of lures. And you can see I got, the deal, I got some fishing line down in here. I got my motor mate. This is a tote right. I don't know the motor mate. I don't have one for the motor. I don't know if they made one for the new 250 Pro XSs or not. That's a little tote right that I got over in Tennessee. And I think this thing, I can't remember. I think it's Jackson. I think it's Jacksboro, Tennessee, if I remember right. It's where that's made right there. This works great on the new motors. I've been using MotorMate for years, and I just don't think they made one for that one yet. I just don't think they have. But and I got some tools and stuff down here. This little box right here, I throw some fishing line in there. Got a bunch of high seas fishing line in there. But don't really carry a lot of tackle in this box back here. I don't have a tremendous amount of tackle in this box yet. Here in the middle, of course, we got the famous Ranger Livewells, and they just are big, giant Livewells. They hold a lot of fish. I've got vents in here, the VT2 vents. These vents allow the air to come in and vent back out again. It just like they're tremendous for keeping your fish alive. If you fish tournaments, you've got to have these vents in here. They're very easy to install in your boat. Now this boat actually makes oxygen, so it's basically impossible to have fish die. They just don't hardly die anymore. If they die, you've hooked them badly. You've hooked in the gill plate, or you've gut hooked them or something like that. They just don't die anymore with oxygen, and with my VT2 vents in here, they just don't. I mean, they just do not die. I sometimes will go fish place where they have pure Florida fish, and I will catch 4 or 5 fish that are like 3 or 4 pounds and bring them back and put them in my lake so I can get those pure Floridas in my lakes. You got another big storage box over here on this side. And of course, this comes with a pump out system where you can pull the deal there and just pump all the water out of there if you want. I mostly just leave it where I open it and close. There is my orange Ranger boat hat that is probably older than most of you are. That's a really old hat that's probably at least 30 years old. A Gore-Tex hat. The only time I wear a hat, usually I've got that on. Now this box over here, if you'll notice, it's completely full of fishing tackle. I mean, it is full. And another thing that I've done over here that's kind of silly. I don't know if I can get it out or not. I got another one of these tackle boxes that's really not a tackle box. I look every time I see plastic containers around, and this is a little stack 'em deal. I thought all 5 of them had their own deal, but you unstack it, and there's only one lid to it. That's the only problem. But I can put quite a bit of tackle in this little thing right here. Open that up, and you get to that one really easily. They're not the greatest tackle boxes in the world. But they work pretty good. I don't know. I guess I'll break down by a real tackle box, huh? We don't have a tackle box sponsor. I've got lots of tackle boxes. But anyway, that's a pretty nice little deal right there. It works pretty good. It's made for little knickknacks and hobby people and things like that, but it'll carry quite a little bit of tackle. I can move them around from boat to boat. I've got that thing just like completely full of tackle. You got another storage box right here in the middle. This little storage box here, I usually will have my rope in there for tying up the docks and a few cleaning rags. You can put whatever you want to in there. 2 cup holders all over this boat. Cup holders all over everything nowadays. You got to have cup holders, and you got to have places to charge your devices. Over here, I've got plug-ins over here where I can plug in actually a cigarette lighter. You know, a lot of cars don't even have a cigarette lighter on them anymore because, of course, most people don't smoke, thankfully. It's got a place where you can plug in a cigarette lighter for like maybe a spotlight or something like that. It's got a cigarette lighter plug-in. You got USB ports where you can plug in your telephones and iPads and stuff like that. Over here, I've got a really nice clean dash in here. I've got my power trim on one side. I've got my Atlas jack plate trim over here on the other side, so I can operate those over here as well as operating the power trim off the throttle. But I can operate them here while I'm driving down the lake without ever reaching over here. When I drive, honestly, I keep a hand on my throttle all the time. I drive with one hand with a hand on my throttle. So if something happens, and I've had things happen, if something happens, I can pull that and get off power immediately. So if something happens, if I'm going to get thrown out of the boat or something happens like that, I can pull and get off that power instantly because I drive. I don't drive with both hands on the wheel. Maybe you should. I don't know. I'm not telling you how to drive. But I drive with a hand on the throttle over here. So my power trim really is not quite as important up here. The Atlas jack plate trim is real important. I've got those right here on both sides. But I drive with my hand on the throttle right here, so if something happens, I can always pull that thing back to neutral and get my power off my big Mercury back here. I've got a real clean dash. The instruments are all down here on the bottom, everything I need. I got a Mercury smart gauge on there. I've got my power pole switches right there where it's nice and handy. You can put these switches anywhere you want. Put them anywhere you want. I've got these switches right here, so that's nice and handy to be able to get to that. All of my stuff is down here in the bottom to run my motor, to run my lights, to run my aerator. And it's all just a nice, neat little deal. There's no switches. It's all a push-button deal, all electronic. and I can run everything down here real easy. My lights, I've got interior lights on this thing too. I'll turn my power back on for that. Oh, I got to show you those. I about forgot about those. Turn my power back on. Will you look at that? You look at that. That's sexy. That turns Chris on right there. Out there late in the evening. Woo! I'm telling you, it turns her on. Those blue lights. I've got those are blue water marine lights I get from T&H Marine. Those are gorgeous lights. I'm kind of light crazy. I put these on all the boats. I've got them on my tracker boats also, and they're really neat. Early in the morning, late in the evening. They're just kind of cool. I mean, they don't really do anything. Essentially, I've got some lights in the box up there that does a lot, but that's kind of a neat deal there. Our instruments, like I said, all right down here on the bottom, very neat. I've got only one locator on here. Normally, we fish in tournaments. I run one out here on the side also, because tournaments, you really want a big screen up here. These are 12-inch Garmin's, and you want a big screen so you can see everything and be able to see the bottom and everything that you run when you're running 70 miles an hour, as well as have a great GPS when you're fishing tournaments. Without fishing tournaments, I didn't need that, so I simply run one big Garmin here. I do have two up front. And that's what my console looks right here. Now, on Ranger boat, if you'll notice one thing, and these seats right here go forward and backward. Look at this right here. So if you want to sit up here a little closer, like you're not real tall, you can sit up here a little bit closer. As you're driving, get down behind that windshield when you're driving. Aerodynamic windshield. It doesn't look very big, but I'm telling you, it really makes a difference when you're running out there in the rain or really, really cold. You can get down the windshield. If you got really long legs, you can move that seat back. And look at that. When I've got the seat back, my legs just barely hit those foot deals up there. It's got a place on both sides to put your feet. So if you're 6'9", 7 foot, you can ride back here, and you just got a tremendous amount of room. You can slide that seat forward. It's tremendous. This is why a Ranger boat is a Ranger boat. It's just got everything in the world that you could ever think of. You see the foot pads over there for your passenger on that side also, where they can set their foot pads. Another thing that you have when you move over here to this side of the boat is, again, you got your foot pads. So if you're running, I use a dual console because Chris fishes with me all times in practice when we're fishing for tournaments. And if you got somebody that fishes with you, they'll love you to death for having that dual console. A lot of tournament fishermen don't like a dual console because it takes away maybe a 1.5 or 2 mile an hour of your speed. Speed's not important to me anymore in fishing because most of the time I only run about 40 miles an hour out there anyway. But you got your console over here that you can get down behind. And if you're in really rough water, you got this thing to hold on to here. You've also got another hold on over here. These are called Nina handles for Miss Nina Wood, Forrest's beautiful wife. And they got handles so you can hold on. You've also got where you can hold on down here, underneath here. You can reach right in here and hold on right there. So if you're in really rough water, you got a lot of things to hold on to. And you need a lot of things to hold on to, especially if you're fishing in a tournament with some of these guys the way they run. And you can just go a long way. Crashing the boat. I don't like crashing my boat. Jamie and them fished it the other day. And again, this seat does the same thing that one did over there. You can move it back depending on your height. If you're short, you want to get up here. You get up here under, behind this right here, somebody driving in the rain or the cold, you can get right up here behind it. Hold on. You can move if you're big, tall, want a little bit more room. Look at there. I've got my legs completely all the way out right there. Back here, you've got a rod holder back here that's got a strap on it. So you hold your rods down. You lay your rods right here. You got to put your rods right in here for your passenger to use the rods back here. You can go down the highway. You can go down the highway 70 miles an hour and your rod's strapped in back here in the back. So that works good. You got a glove box. A glove box is not quite as big as they used to be. They used to be a lot bigger than this, and you could almost not find things in there. I've got scales. I've got contraband, paper towels, Lucky Strike worms, and my control for my Minn Kota. I want to talk about that in a minute when I get up there toward the front of the boat. Oh, got me some Spike It in there too. Garlic pink Spike It for spraying on the lures. Garlic hot pink Spike It. Woo-hoo. That's something right there. That's the deal right there. If you're going to carry this, and then I've got some pink also, pink dip and dye, Spike It dip and dye. If you want to carry these things, you want to carry them. Now, This is definitely dye. You don't want them on your carpet, so you want to carry them in little baggies like that in case something happens and the lid gets loose or whatever. But this is my controls to my iPilot controls to my Minn Kota up there, and I want to tell you something about that while I'm sitting here. If you have trouble with your electronics, you have anything go out there on where your foot pedal doesn't work properly, you can actually turn your iPilot on and run this off the iPilot, even if you have something electronically mess up with your foot pedal. And there's a little switch in there that sometimes goes out where you can't really work that foot pedal. Just take this right here and you can go ahead and use it. So if you're out there in a tournament or just fishing and that happens to you, and it's a very easy, I say it's an easy fix. You've got to take that apart, and it's a little small part. It's not a difficult thing at all, but getting to it's kind of difficult. But you got to do that on land. You can't do it out in the water. But just take your iPilot controls right here, and you can run everything you want to run up there. And it just make sure you keep these in the boat with you at all times. And if you run around trying to catch double-digit fish, make sure you got scales in your boat. Don't be guessing that they weigh 8 pounds or 7 pounds or 5 pounds or 14 pounds. Put them on a scale and weigh them. Yeah, buddy. My buddy Jim Bob Basham, every time I tell him I caught a big fish, every time I tell him I catch a big fish, he said, "Did you weigh it?" I say, "Well, yeah, I weighed it." Sometimes I don't tell him I weigh it on this scale right here, not necessarily that Connect scale. But anyway, that's the important part of the boat for running up and down the lake. This part up here is the office part of a Ranger bass boat, and is absolutely fantastic. You've got areas right here where you put your on both sides of the boat where you can put your needle nose and your pliers and all of this. You got them on both sides of the boat. You got another one up at the front. Your step box here, and you can use this step box for an ice chest if you want. I don't. This step box right here, I usually just got tons and tons of lures in it. There's a little crappie kit, a little Lucky Strike crappie kit. Some of my buddy Winston Tucker used this boat the other day. Left some Guggen baits in here for me. I appreciate that. Make sure you have Lucky Strike Jimmy Houston Legend spinner baits in every box that you have. Ranger also, it's got a great place where you keep your measure board. I'll show you another little trick too that you can use here in a little bit, one that Charlie Evans actually taught me using one of these deals here. When you take a Ranger boat seat, you want to pull your Ranger boat seat up. It's got this button right here. You push this button in to pull it up. It's kind of hard to push the button in and pull up at the same time. You can take this right here, put that up here, push that button in with your foot, lay that down, push that in with your foot, pull that up. Take both hands and pull that up. Works really, really good. But your measure stick is always handy in a Ranger boat. Of course, nearly all the tournament fishermen in America runs a Ranger boat. And you got that measure stick nice and handy. Out of the way, never does get bent. Over here on this side of the boat, and I've got tons of rod and reels in there. It's our new Blaze Series rod and reels. I'm going to kind of try to open this up here. A little darter head, a little Lucky Strike darter head I've been catching crappie with. This is the ice chest on a Ranger boat. It's insulated. It'll hold ice like you just can't believe how well it holds ice. And those drinks are kind of cool. They're left over from when Jamie fished out of the boat. I actually fished out of the boat a couple of days ago, but when Jamie fished out of the boat, that's a nice ice chest. It's insulated. It holds ice as good as as good as an Orion or something like that. I mean, it really holds ice well. This is a big rod box over here on this side. Another big rod box over on the other side. Let's set those up there and get them out of the way. Big rod box over on this side. You can see I got lots of rods down in there also. New Blaze Series spinning rods. We've got those available now. $79. You can order them from jimmyhouston.com. That's an incredible buy for the money right there. We've got them in lots of different colors. Blue, neon green, neon orange, chartreuse, purple. Lots of different colors. So you got a great big nice rod box over here on this side. I'll lay that back down. I'll lay these back down in the boat. I have no reason to be up there stuck in the rafters. I am actually going to go fishing, take some people fishing tomorrow. Bob and Linda Stoops. Be taking them fishing tomorrow. Now they got all those places where you could keep these. When I'm fishing, I've got them laying all around. I haven't put magnets on here. I've got some magnets that my buddy Bill sent me from up in New Jersey to put in the front of this boat. I haven't installed them yet. This is a great deal where I use lights right here. These are blue water lights also. Those are simply, I think they're maybe 3 foot or 30 inches or something like that. Strip lights, and I've got them rigged up in this center box. The center box is a rod box. People use it for everything. I see a lot of tournament fishermen have this just full of tackle boxes. That's my Mimic tackle box right there. It's got all my Mimic impersonators in it, or quite a few of them. But I've seen it where guys have just this completely full of these little Plano or Rubbermaid or whatever they are tackle boxes. And but anyway, it's I carry rods in there, and then I put about 6 or 8 tackle boxes on the side. It's got a lot of room back here. I can put marker buoys and some bags of spinner baits and stuff like that. This operates on a switch. So when you shut, I've got this little switch up here. That's something we rig at Jimmy Houston Marine. Get this little switch up here, so when you shut that, the lights go off. And so when you open the deal, the lights will come back on. All that is a little switch. This is a Jamie rig from Jimmy Houston Marine. I think it's really important to put that on all boats. Early in the morning, late in the evening, if you fish at night. Late in the evening, this will make a huge difference when you get ready to get in here and get a tackle box out or get a rod or putting your rods up at the end of the day. It makes a huge difference to have those lights on there. So I'd recommend getting those. Those are blue water lights is now owned by T&H Marine, my friends over at T&H, and those are just white strips. You can put other colors in here too, and they'll light up enough where you can see. If you want to put some green or blue or whatever, I just go ahead and put white on these inside. We have another big storage box over on this side. Let's move those out of the way for right now. Another big storage box over on this side, and this is where I carry quite a bit of my tackle. I don't really have much in here right now. I've been moving from boat to boat. I've got to have a few tackle boxes, but mostly I will completely fill this up with tackle boxes right there. That is a big box. That carries a lot of tackle, and it's back here around the center of the boat, so it doesn't hurt you much speed-wise if you keep most of your weight back this direction. I don't know if you noticed the consoles on a Ranger boat, but they look like a starship. I mean, that is just beautiful, beautiful consoles. They're so aerodynamically designed, and just the design of those probably gains you a mile-an-hour speed right there. Ranger boats are not necessarily built for speed. They're built for quality. They're built for lasting forever. I can keep this boat. I can live another 20 years and keep this very boat right here, and it'll be great. We don't keep our boats. We keep them 1 year and get another one. I've got my 2020 model Ranger 521L, which is rigged basically just like this one right here is rigged. And it's got very few hours on it since I didn't fish tournaments last year. And I think we just took the wrap off of it, just took the Shell Rotella wrap off of it. And I think we've got that priced at $79,800, which will save you about 20 grand on that boat right there. And I think we just put it on the showroom floor at Jimmy Houston Marine. It won't be there very long at that price. I know that sounds like a lot, $80,000 or just a little under $80,000, $79,800 for a bass boat. But when I was talking to Roland Martin a couple days ago, we was talking about Chris and talking about his brother and his sister that both had strokes and recovered. But you know, Roland saltwater fishes too, and $100,000 is not much of a boat at all in saltwater. So those boats go for several $100,000, even into the millions. So a Ranger boat, decked out the way I deck them out, is a $100,000 boat plus, and that one has got very few hours on it, full warranty on it, and for $79,800. So anybody that's really looking for a boat just a boat of a lifetime, very definitely that boat, and it'll sell pretty quickly at that price, obviously. We have another big rod box right here, and again, everybody uses these differently. That's one of the great things about a Ranger boat. This has got another rod box. It's got the rod tubes up front. It's got the handles back here in the back, just like that one does over here. So you got room for 8 or 10 rods over here, 20 here, 20. You got room for like 40 or 50 or 60 rods. And so even Tommy Biffle or Brian Thrift, I have plenty of room to carry all the rods they want to carry. I use this one over here to put my life jackets and put my rain gear and my boots and stuff like that. So if it starts raining on me, of course, we get the life jackets out while we're running. So that's what I use this box for here. I kind of try to keep this weight a little bit less up at the front. Doesn't much matter anymore, but for tournaments and stuff, I try to keep this weight a little bit less up here at the front. The rod tie downs here are slide out of the edge and fasten down right there. I actually helped design these back years ago. I did some work for this company for a few years, and the Boat Buckle company, and did some work in designing this for them. And that ended up being a really, really nice product right there for them. Up here at the business end of the boat, the working end of the boat, you have lots and lots of rooms. You got 2 holes for your front seat. The boats come standard actually with a butt seat up here. I use a butt seat if I'm really serious fishing. If I'm just out there messing around with Chris or some friends. I've got to where it's nice to sit down and fish anymore. I guess it shows I may be getting old. But you got 2 holes up here to put this. You want to move it a little closer, a little further back, depending on how close or how far away you want to fish in the front of the boat. You have a recessed plate to set this, so when you're standing and fishing, you're not sitting up here with your leg way up here, down there, so you're sitting very comfortable to operate that trolling motor. I've got a hydro wave here in the front. This is the sound system that the transmitter is down on my trolling motor, right there on my trolling motor. This hydro wave emits several different sounds of shad in a frenzy or feeding frenzy or whatever. It triggers bites on fish, so I turn that on when I'm fishing. I run it on the continuous mode. I have it where it's on all the time, play mode, but on continuous and then a delay, so it goes back and forth. You can play around, see how the fish are biting better. I've got 2 big Garmins up here in the front. This is a Garmin Ultra, the 12SV. They're the top of the line Garmins. They're incredible locators. I've got my live scope right there on the front where I can look out to the front of the boat. These have got basically everything in the world in them that you want. Gold GPS, the navigation. It's a combination of Garmin electronics and Navionics electronics for the mapping system. The best mapping system that you can ever get on locators are on these 2 locators right here. So they're absolutely fantastic. I got a big Minn Kota 36-volt trolling motor up at the front with the Minn Kota prop that is, basically unbreakable. You can tear the prop up, but you better have a hammer if you're going to try to tear it up. We've got the little deal on here so it can't bounce. So if it can't bounce down, it can't bounce up. If you get in really rough water, you can strap it down. I don't really strap that down very often at all, unless you want to run in some really, really rough water, which, to be honest with you, I don't run in that much rough water anymore. It gets really rough and bad. I want to go put it in somewhere where it's calmer. So tournament fishing changes a lot of what you do in a boat. But basically, I could take this boat and fish any national tournament I wanted to and wouldn't have to really change anything at all. I might add 1 more locator back there. I might put a locator out there on the side and have 2 back there at the back. But other than that, I'd fish it just like it is right here. You look up at the front of the trolling motor. You got a nice jack system on it. I'll jump out of here real quick. We'll look down there and we'll see if we want to look at anything on the front of that boat. And this is the best way to get in and out of a Ranger boat. I promise you that. Again, I apologize for the boat being so dirty. I'll raise this up here. I want to get a little air going in here. It's pretty filthy. This thing's pretty filthy, but you got a nice step pad here on your trailer for being able to get up in the boat really easily while it's sitting. You can get up here and then get up in the boat real easily too. I thought about one of those step systems. I fished with boats that's got the step systems in there, and I'd like to have one of those. I don't even know where you buy them, but I'd like to have one of those and put on a boat. The boat is really dirty. Like I said, we used it here on the ranch, and it's 2.some-odd miles, 2.5 miles over to that other lake, and it gets just really dusty and dirty because we hadn't had any rain. The trailers, all Ranger Trail trailers, got road armor on them, so they don't ding up or dent up or anything. They got a great locking system here, so once you lock that down, once you set that down on there, you stick this pin through here, right here. This pin goes through. That cannot come up, so you will not lose it. They got a great system here, great cables. I mean, everything is just top-of-the-line quality. Now, here's something I do on all my vehicles. I put these big clips on here. You see these big clips right here? I put those big clips on so you have a place to hook your cables into, your chains into. You don't have to reach way back down under there and fight for them. They're right there. That's a great. My buddy Red Berry bought my first ones I ever had. I've got them on every vehicle now. They're just great. They're just great to use. You got a great jack system here in the middle of this. Just pull this out. Put your jack down. So that works good too. Like completely out of the way. Nothing sticking out here on the side. They got an extra system here where this is if you happen to if you happen to have a strap break or you forget to hook it up, well, basically if a straps break or something, it's going to hold right there, and you got an extra deal for your motor. The last great thing I've got on here is I've got a brake system on here that you can actually push that in the down position, and it locks the brakes on your trailer. So you can actually park your trailer and can be on a hill or whatever. If you have that locked down, your trailer can park on a hill. So it works out really, really good. That's a great system right there to keep your trailer. If you're in the up position like it is right here, it's open. You can pull it down the road. You push it down. It locks, so you can park it wherever. So it's just a tremendous system that they put on Ranger Trail trailers. So anyway, that's a walkthrough through our new 521L 2021 Ranger. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if you got to look at the side back here, but walk back here and just take a look at that boat. That is just a beautiful boat. I was actually getting a blue Ram to match this blue on my boat, my Ranger boat, and they sold that boat. So I got a slate gray, which is beautiful behind it. But that is just a beautiful blue, beautiful wrap on that boat, blue and white wrap, and I just absolutely love it. Actually, my granddaughter Jordan, who's got a decal business, did the decals, and she actually did the actual Jimmy Houston logo out here with our signature and our deal on the blade. I put that on there for my name. So anybody needing any decals, they can get them there from Jordan. She does decals for lots and lots and lots and lots of people. But anyway, the boat is just absolutely a dream to fish out of. Guys and girls, have fun fishing. I'm getting ready to use that thing, not today, but tomorrow. And remember, I love you.